Welcome to the wonderful world of wine, where what traditionally grows in some terroir is showing new varietals thriving. Is this the impact of global warming? And will we ever see a big, bold Shiraz break out of one of the cold climate regions? Master Sommelier Carlos Santos is here to check in on the canopies and help us understand how what once was is no longer the same.
It's somehow already there. Someone was already smart enough 10, 20 years ago to do that. And we see the rewards now.
So wood.
Cheers.
First of all, I haven't seen you in a little bit. You went over to Portugal. I had to do an episode by myself with Anthony Femia, the cheesemonger. I just got that right.
Seemed like a lot of fun.
It was awesome. It was awesome. I mean, it was cheese and wine.
I mean, the previous one was McDonald's and KFC, so that was not bad. So
yeah, a bit of a step up. Yeah. But great to have you back in studio.
Thanks.
And today we are talking about wines that might surprise us from regions. Now, this actually started by me buying a wine off grays.com. I kind of sometimes peruse the wines, not necessarily for like Wendouree or, aged St. Hugo's, or try and get some black label wins, Cab Sav cheap with a bit of age. I try and find wines that I think are like interesting for the podcast.
Nice.
Now,
As you do.
I didn't tell you about this until today, and unfortunately you did text me and say, really not that uncommon, but we'll talk about that. Let me just go into my previous sales, because the price that I bought it for, I want to say I copped this French Malbec for $20 a bottle.
From Cahors, yeah.
So I got 3 bottles for $60.
Okay, yeah.
So, no, I got 4 bottles for $60.
Oh, there you go.
That was delivered. There's 15 bids on it. So it's, do you know the producer?
No, I've never seen the producer
Cahors
before.
Clos Trogaletto.
Yeah.
And it's 2019. But when I think Malbec, I think like Argentinian, purple staining tears.
That's right.
And then when I saw France, I went, oh, this could be a cool episode talking about like, wines from bits we don't think about. But then you said, no, Malbec in France is pretty common.
Yeah, it is common. I mean, in different regions of the country. So, from north, you have the Loire Valley. So Malbec grows in some spots in the Loire Valley, and people would say, oh, it's too cold for Malbec. And it is, but there are spots, warmer spots with a better exposure where there is a little bit of Malbec, and it's more a blending partner, not 100% Malbec in the Loire Valley. And then other part would be Bordeaux, which became popular as well for blending Malbec. So it's a component, one of the 5 red varietals that are help blends in Bordeaux. And then more commonly would be in Cahors, and that's where this wine comes from. And that's probably the birthplace of Malbec. Before it was known in Argentina, was known in Malbec. So Cahors is the birthplace, if you like, of the grape. Yeah.
I had no idea.
Right?
I honestly just thought it was an Argentinian thing.
Yeah, no, it's...
Because every time if you go to see a Malbec, if you go to like a retailer or something like that, Bottle-O, you're not going to find a French Malbec. It is unusual to see them in Australia, our shelves.
That's right. It became very popular in Argentina because of its, very, very popular because of its youthfulness, because of its vibrant, as you said, the deep purple staining colors, really vibrant, really fruity, really juicy, and a huge appeal. And
high alcohol as well, usually,
High alcohol, yeah, because obviously needs sunlight, so obviously heat.
I just thought France was mostly just like a, varied climate, if not leaning towards colder climate with all of its river systems and banks.
Which one?
France in general.
France. Well, southwest of France.
But I guess that's like saying Australia, and then in that is Tasmania, the Barossa.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
I guess that's just a brush that I've painted across
that's
the whole
true.
of the French, the homeland of wine. Sorry.
I think you did, yeah. But then again, if you think Loire Valley, again, a lot colder. Further south, Bordeaux, a little bit more moderate, and southwest in between. So, not too hot, not too cold. Again, more moderate climates.
Well, I mean, we usually would start with the white wine, but should we just get into this red because we're talking about it so much?
That's right. Since we're talking about it.
And just remember, like, delivered to my door from grays.com, $15 a bottle.
Yeah,
is what I paid.
Good.
I've already had a bottle of this.
Yeah.
But I'd be interested to know your thoughts.
Well, look, if you were judging by the color against the white background, you wouldn't say it's not a Malbec from Argentina, because he does have the color of a Malbec from Argentina, that deep purple color, deep purple staining tears that really stick to the glass and hold really well. So that's telling you is a Malbec, Then on the nose, on the nose, it feels kind of like a little more plummy, plush than Malbec from Argentina, which has a lot more kind of floral, like violets and stuff like this. This one feels more fruit, more a little bit riper as well.
Yeah, very ripe fruits. But there is the slight tinge of purple. You are right.
Yeah.
I mean, mostly a ruby, but yeah, just certainly. Do you know how sometimes you can just pick a wine off the color?
Yeah.
Look at a Nebbiolo, for example. You get that brick
Nebbiolo you
edge,
can,
and if you start to figure it out, it doesn't really show the age. But here,
the thing is, Nebbiolo you can because of that brick color, as you say. But then if you have a very old Pinot Noir, it will look very much the same.
Yeah,
but once you put them in your mouth,
exactly,
Nebbiolo will have higher acidity, high tannins. Pinot Noir will have a softer.
But my point to that is, I'll go into the wine, the next assessment on the nose, going could be aged Pinot, could be Grenache, could be Nebbiolo.
Grenache could be a good one, yeah.
But I reckon with this, without having that sort of purple, even though it does have some staining tears, that lack of purple in it, I think I would go into it without thinking Malbec. And then have to backtrack through my assessment to go, is there a chance this could be by picking up on other characteristics? Yeah, so it's an interesting one. But nose is, quite jammed fruits. It's actually I think it's quite nice on the nose.
Yeah, on the nose it's pretty good. Yeah, it's really that bunch of fruit, plush. Definitely a lot of ripe plum, violet.
I get some like the boiled lollies a little bit.
Oh yeah,
like old school grandma's lollies.
Yeah. Black fruits, a lot of black fruits, wild berries, violets. But again, like a lot of ripeness, a lot of jamminess.
A 2019 as well, so we're looking at 5 years of age on the palate.
So in comparison to that, it will be a little bit fresher, a little bit more vibrant, a little bit fruitier, and I feel like maybe less of this ripeness, but this is quite nice.
My only thing is, it is disappointing on the palate. Short finish.
Very good that you say that because it really is. Like even while you still have before it's
wine
in your mouth, is already fading.
Yeah,
there's not really an intensity of fruit.
Exactly. So I think the nose is unfortunately the best part of this wine. But going back to that idea of Malbec in France. What other wines? Because, obviously, when we think about Bordeaux, we think about Pinot Noirs, and we think about these sort of
Burgundy.
Burgundy, Pinot Noirs, and Bordeaux. We think about
Cabernet
these
Sauvignon,
bigger reds, left bank, right bank, and sort of these exquisite older wines. But is there? Do we know of any producers that are surprising people out there and just chucking a random varietal in there and seeing how a Zinfandel fares?
In Bordeaux, you can't just because of the laws. So,
I think you've said this before, but pick me up again.
No, you can't. So you can use Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, Merlot, Petit Verdot, Malbec, Cabernet. Don't quote me on that right now, to be honest. Or maybe it's better I check. Cabernet, but I think.
But regardless, it's illegal to plant grape varietals. Or is it frowned upon?
You can plant Zinfandel, you can plant Pinot Noir in Bordeaux if you want, but you can't use it in the AOC or AOP.
Ah, right. The classification.
Actually, a few years ago, there were a few varietals like Touriga Nacional, which is the Portuguese varietal, is allowed now to be planted in Bordeaux. Whether is able to be used already in the AOC or AOP in France, I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, even Touriga Nacional has been planted in Bordeaux. So another 3 or 4.
You don't get the prestige of the classification of the Bordeaux.
Well, exactly right. You can't. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it depends whether it's already legal or not. But you can imagine like Bordeaux with its traditions.
If you're going to own a vineyard and you're not going to place Cabernet Sauvignon or Merlot,
then
you're doing yourself a disservice.
That's right.
You're costing yourself tens of thousands, millions of dollars by
That's like being in Burgundy and replant Chardonnay by Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
why would you do that when Chardonnay demands such a high price and Pinot Noir demands such a high price?
Yeah, and no one's going to go, savvy bee time.
That's right. So if you're in Bordeaux, and of course you have Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot, you are in a sweet spot, whether you're on the left bank or right bank respectively. Good, but then you may want to have a little bit of Malbec, and that's when the blend comes in, is because It may add a little bit more prettiness, a little bit more floral notes, that violet characteristic from Malbec, which is great. And that's why small little parts of the vineyard may have different varieties. And sometimes that may be 1 or 2% or 3% of the blend.
Right.
When they do.
There you go. Well,
But yeah.
I'm sure there are ripping French Malbecs. This was the first time I'd seen or heard of a French Malbec, so I thought, hence why the inspiration for the video.
Yeah, this Cahors. So Cahors,
it's the right region.
160 kilometers east of Bordeaux. So is the sweet spot for the varietal. That's the old tradition. Entry level. This bottle, I think so, entry level. But they are great producers. Chateau de Cèdre, stuff like this is fantastic.
In the intro, we spoke about, I mentioned quickly climate change affecting wine styles in regions, cold climates. I remember we down in Tassie and we were speaking with the winemaker down there, and he said, yeah, we're starting to pull up some things and we're starting to plant some others because it is getting warmer. Do you think that it's going to be a bit of a free-for-all? Will we ever see a Shiraz in a super cold climate area? Will Germany?
Yes, definitely.
Alongside Riesling be having some Shiraz?
Yeah, definitely. I think so. I mean, everything is pointing to that. There's a traditionalist, there's a more modern version of everything. But some winemakers would say, oh, that's all bullshit. Others clearly see the differences, but I think on the long run, yes, some things will have to be pulled apart and stronger, thicker skin grape varieties will be planted. Some people are already doing that. I think Yarra Valley, for example, is in a sweet spot because there's so much diversity of grapes already. They just grow everything already. Pinot Noir, Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Shiraz, they grow everything already. So I think the change is somehow already there. Someone was already smart enough 10, 20 years ago to do that. And we see the rewards now. All the vines and the climate is changing. Great.
This is like not your expertise, what I'm asking you. Let's just have a chat about it.
Yeah.
But like horticulturalists or hydroponics,
yes,
you can grow things undercover with the right, artificial lighting conditions. Will there ever be like a crop grown underground where we make incredible wines at the perfect temperature, humidity, density, all of the perfect spots and spaces, climate controlled, we recreate the best vintages, the best vines in the best conditions with a great winemaker.
Yeah, let me drink another glass.
Could we see
a Penfolds Grange?
The AI of wine.
Yeah. Okay, so that sounds like it would be a much less costs, laborious wine.
You're probably
to do, right?
I mean, I didn't say put it in a bunker. It could just be in a shed.
Harvesting would be very easy, right?
You also don't have to rush it. You get to pick when you're ready.
You don't have to work on the lands. Like you don't have to, green harvest or prune or any of that jazz. Would that mean that we have a Penfolds Grange at a fraction of the price?
Would it?
I don't know.
I don't know. It seems like there's potential for it. I don't know what scale you could do. I mean, I don't know. Other hydroponics, you're selling small ounces.
Yeah, and then think of the beautiful vineyards of the world. You are in Chianti, you are in Tuscany. I mean,
oh, look, I'm not saying it's going to be a cellar door. I'm not saying it's a wonderful experience to head down to the bunker.
But exactly. But you are making a great wine in this fashion. And okay, this is a hydroponic wine, or whatever they call it, hydroponic wine. And this is an amazing bottle of wine, will cost you $100. And it was made in a garage. Or,
Oh, don't make it less sexy. Bunker was bad enough.
Bunker, yeah.
Gone from bunker to garage. Carlos, good to be back in the studio with you, mate. Salud. And unfortunately, the French one just...
Yeah, no, it's not. It's, quite short, really quite short. As the first comment you said, and it's really true. Even when you still have the wine in the mouth, is fading.
It's changed, though. Changes now. I know.
But still, it's
not for the best.
No, yeah. It's super short, yeah.
See you on the next episode, everybody.
Cheers.